Hello and welcome from the Industry of Things World Asia 2017. I'm here with Volkhard Bregulla from HPE, one of our lead partners across our Industry of Things World Global Portfolio Series. Hi Volkhard and welcome to the conference.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, I would like to ask you to introduce yourself and your professional background.
So Volkhard Bregulla, I'm leading within Hewlett Packard Enterprise, the manufacturing and distribution industry. I'm long with the company all my life there in services or in industry verticals.
So this afternoon you will hold a keynote presentation on the Internet of Things. Can you please give me a few more insights into what you talk about?
First of all, it's important for me that the Internet of Things is not only about new technology on one hand, and also not only about new business models. It's actually all around execution of very pragmatic things, really focusing on things to pick, focusing on the start. And while you do that, really develop the infrastructure and dare take some risk and drive the management of change towards business outcome.
How is HPE at the moment working clients who are facing challenges with all the industrial internet hype that has been going on? What are the main solutions you offer to them?
So of course it depends about the challenges as such. Typically some clients come to us because they're lacking ideas. They don't know where to start. They're really lost in terms of what is the first pragmatic step they can do. Typically we go into an ideation workshop with those clients and really collect their ideas. Many times we really realize that the ideas is within the client. We have to sort of unlock the ideas and then find a roadmap where we can start with some pragmatic first steps, address some low-hanging fruits, achieve some early returns, and then we go from there. So typically what we offer is, first of all, we are looking at the area where the data is generated. This is typically outside the data center. We call this the edge. And the edge is going to be more and more intelligent over time. So one of the strategies is really, what do we need to do at the edge and what do we have to do to power the intelligence of the edge and pre-process the data? That's the first area of solutions we offer. The second part is really the core. It's about data capturing and evaluating the data and learning around the data. And then it's around the back-end processing, which is for us truly a hybrid IT infrastructure, which is partially on-premise and partially in the cloud. So what we actually do with that area and looking at the workload of all the data processing, all the applications, which are widely different, and really find out what is the right mix in terms of which workload do we put on-prem and which workload can be put into the cloud to optimize the speed as well as the effectiveness and also the cost.
From your own viewpoint, what do you see as the main challenges that are associated with the adoption of the Internet of Things in an industrial setting?
Overall, you can say people are not moving fast enough. That's a common theme. People are lost in the start of it. People don't know what the ROI is, they don't know what the technology is, they don't know really how to capture the data and keep going. That's one area of it. The other area is for those people who have really started with the transformation, who went into the early use cases, they see that they need to accelerate further. For example, they capture the data, they understand the data, but now they need to build new systems which evaluate the consequences, put policies in place. What do you do? How can you action on the data? And how can you take the data into new services, offer maybe something which even disrupts the industry and gives you a competitive edge?
Based on your own experience, how do you see the industrial internet space transforming within the next 5 years?
I mean, first of all, in the next 5 years, you see an environment where everything computes. Every device you have, every edge device you have, every device like this already computes. It takes the data and it will compute it as close as possible where the data is generated. You have an abundance of data. We are talking about in the next 5 years, 40 to 50 zettabyte of data. This is excessive. We're talking about up to between 30 and 50 billion of connected devices. So you have an abundance of networking going on in the next years. So that will be a tremendously, I would say, exciting areas, and we are right in the middle of it.
And which industries do you think that will be impacted the most by these new technologies and all this industrial internet revolution?
I think, first of all, the public sector industry will be challenged greatly. So the people living in the city, living in the community, have a high demand which most of the cities, most of the governments locally cannot fulfill. So governments will be challenged to build smarter cities, build smarter environment, like waste management, like really supervising areas of potentially crime. So there are a lot of areas where I see that governments are challenged greatly. That's one part of it. The second part of it, everything which has to do with mobility and mobility services. So the automotive industry will be greatly challenged. First, of course, the combust engine will be replaced by another drive, which will be an e-drive. That's one part of it. But furthermore, it's people are not taking cars any longer home. They will drive cars on demand. So there will be a change from, I would say, offering a vehicle towards becoming a mobility service provider. The whole transportation industry will change greatly, and then manufacturing as such, core manufacturing, will change dramatically, because the data which is generated as products are produced over time will be integrated much deeper. There's more insight in it, and that will change the manufacturing process too.
Well, thank you very much for your valuable insights and for your time. My last question would be what are your expectations from the conference? What are you hoping to take away from these 2 days here?
First of all, Asia is an exciting place. For IoT, there will be a lot of innovation coming out of this territory. I think the affinity of the people, the resource, the knowledge is very much into technology. I'm quite excited to see that and talk to the people about what their ideas are, what their specific needs are in Asia. Then also like to understand how they take the data, really develop more services to come closer to the consumer, and then drive new business models. I'm quite excited about this. I like the community, I like the place, really getting us all together and drive one common interest, which is making IoT work and beneficial for all of us.
Well, thank you very much for your time and for your insights, and I wish you a great rest of the day here and enjoy.
Thank you very much.